comes to strong wind, he did it his way. When it comes to light wind, he did it his way. When it comes to target, he did it his way. Children back move, he did it his way. Children back move, he did it his way. Remember when Buller Red is dead and gone? Every time he got a time he come back home. Oh no, you don't see me cause I come in the wind. And when I go in the wind. Children know it. Oh, in the back, oh. This one for Rolly Gray did it this way. Oh, turn loud in the back, oh. This one for Rolly Gray did it this way. Remember when Buller Red was dead and gone? Every time we got a time he come back home.
Tonight, a pilot fired over misconduct. We've got the details coming up. Also, a reduction in value-added tax on essential items. And later, will new constituencies emerge following the boundaries report? Eyewitness News starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Janaea Noel. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping news tonight, Bahamas Air officials acting swiftly to ensure that the reputation of the airline remains intact. This after a troubling situation. Our Devontae Hanna has been following the story. He has the details in our top story tonight.
The captain involved has since been relieved of his duties, and he is no longer employed with the airline.
Bahamas are bringing to an end turbulent times caused by a pilot employed by the airline for 12 years after two incidents reported last week. The first, a cockpit dispute on a flight to Marsh Harbor, Abaco, with continuation to West Palm Beach. The ATR turboprop departed from Nassau.
However, upon arrival in Marsh Harbor, the first officer advised the airline's Operation Control Center of a concern regarding cockpit dynamics and recommended, in the interest of professional standards, that the flight not proceed until the matter was reviewed.
That prompted Bahamas Air officials to bring the pilot, who identified himself as J-Roll Pilot 3479, in for questioning, strongly advising him to correct his behavior.
He was, at that time, advised and told what needed to be done, he needed to do to change his ways. And rather than take our advisement to him, he responded in the way that he did.
Just a week later, he recorded himself sounding off on his fellow pilots. He says he was accused of vaping and running a slack operation. He later accused them of using cell phones and moving in the cockpit without his approval.
You would notice in his voicemail he was also indicating that he allowed that to happen. It is a matter that we were addressing with him, that he shouldn't allow those things to happen.
For passengers, trust in your airline is everything. And with this latest string of controversy, Bahamas Air finds itself not only managing its airlines, but its reputation.
Bahamas Air has been around for a while, and we would hope that the traveling public would simply look at the record that has been there. And in this instance, again, we're reinforcing that that individual is actually brought in and spoken to because he was not the norm at Bahamas Air.
Cooper maintained that Bahamas Air has a zero-tolerance policy for intimidation and unprofessional conduct, adding that adjustments have been made to fill in the void of the relieved pilot. Devontae Hanna, Eyewitness News.
Meantime, Bahamas Air is also dealing with an aircraft shortage. The managing director, Tracy Cooper, revealing today only half of its ATR fleet are in use. He says the latest are to be taken out of service is the ATR 72-600 series, a 70-seater jet that was acquired in March of this year. Over the years, Bahamas Air has been faced with severe passenger delays due to an insufficient fleet. Today, only 3 of the 6 ATR aircrafts are now in service.
Up until August of, I think the 12th of August, there were 4 ATRs flying out of the 6 that we had. We subsequently removed another one for heavy maintenance that is scheduled. We will get back to a 4-aircraft fleet sometime around the beginning of October.
Meantime,
ask the consumers if they appreciate that they have been cut.
Well, the acting Prime Minister Chester Cooper, he's lauding government's reductions to value-added tax tonight on a range of essential items that officials say will give consumers breathing room when they hit the grocery stores. That list, including medicine, medical supplies, feminine hygiene products, and baby and adult diapers. This as the reduction took effect 1 week ago on September 1st. To be exact, months after it was announced by Prime Minister Philip Davis during his budget communication in May. Members of the Free National Movement downplaying the reduction, noting that, quite frankly, there were no taxes on a number of these items in the first place. Cooper, however, suggesting, and he's shrugging off, rather, the opposition's criticisms.
Ask the consumers if they appreciate that there have been cuts. And I think there will be a resounding yes. Paying less is more than paying more. And I think that's the reality of where we are. Let me just tell you that the issue of cost of living is something that the government is concerned about. We are putting in place strategies. This has just been one of those strategies. We are improving our work in consumer protection. We are also improving our work as it relates to building trade alliances and encouraging shipping from other countries in addition to the traditional source markets. So we are confident that we are putting in steady work. In addition, we are looking to see how we can manifest much of the reforms in electricity to ensure that the Bahamian people begin to feel the results of the work. We are confident that collectively, when we put all of these pieces together, we will be able to successfully impact cost of living for the people, but for the Bahamian people.
Well, as the Davis administration claims it's taking another step to ease the backs off Bahamians, the burden rather, the opposition says it's a move out of their playbook. Laurencia Smith has reaction tonight.
For the second time this year, government has reduced value-added tax. As of September 1st, VAT dropped to 5% on baby and adult diapers, feminine hygiene products, medication, medical and dental supplies. Government say the move is meant to provide relief for residents struggling with the rising cost. But with the general election less than a year away, some believe it may be politically motivated.
I mean, these things we need, and being like they don't know we need these things, so could be, but stuff that we need, that's what they should be doing.
The reduction was first introduced by Prime Minister Philip Davis during his budget communication in May. Earlier in April, government also cut VAT on food items, including fresh produce, baby food, snacks, and frozen food. Another resident told Eyewitness News that the move shows that the administration is finally listening to the cries of the Bahamian household.
I think they're hearing the cries of the people. I don't think it's a political ploy. I think it's the cries of the people. Things are really tough out here, so I think that could ease some of the burden.
When the Davis administration took office, it lowered the general VAT rate from 12 to 10%, but also raised VAT on some items, including medication, from 0 to 10%. Now, the Bahamas Pharmaceutical Association is renewing its call for VAT on medication to be completely removed, even as it welcomes this latest cut.
These are essential items. People aren't buying those out of convenience. They're buying it because they have to. And so when VAT was first instituted, there was no VAT on medicines. And for some reason, somebody thought it was smart to put VAT on medicines. We opposed it then. We continue to oppose it now.
Under the Minnis administration, breadbasket items were VAT-free. Opposition leader Michael Pintard says while he's glad the government has taken his party advice, more still needs to be done.
Gone far enough. We want them to say, essentially, that they will take VAT of all breadbasket items. They will expand the group of products that will be included in the breadbasket bundle.
Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
Well, Prime Minister Philip Davis announcing a VAT cut from 10 to 5% on essential items, as you heard, including medicine, medical supplies, feminine hygiene products, baby and adult diapers. The government says this move is possible due to stronger finances and economic growth and aims to ease the burden on families and caregivers. But residents are questioning whether this cut will make a difference for households. Eyewitness News turning to social media, posing the question, do you believe it was appropriate for VAT to be applied to essential items? Like we said, medicine, hygiene products, and diapers from the start. 17% of participants voting yes, it will make a big difference, while 7% voting a little but not much. 76% voting no, costs are still too high. Along with these votes, the comments expressed concern for the high cost of living, noting that the minimum wage of $260 per week makes it difficult for Bahamians to live decently. Commenters questioned the impact of the VAT cut, arguing that many grocery items remain expensive and suggesting a return to a pre-VAT era. In news from the political arena tonight, pundits are waiting with bated breath on the Boundaries Commission report to put to rest mounting speculation that new constituencies could be on the horizon. This as political observers believe that any forward movement for major parties and voters' understanding of where they are situated hinge on that report. Our Jose Etienne has the details tonight.
Members of the electorate and political hopefuls will have to wait as officials continue to hammer out the specifics on existing constituencies that could be impacted if boundaries are withdrawn.
There will not be a report before the House reopens.
Acting Prime Minister Chester Cooper updating reporters addressing growing speculation that the next general election, slated for next year, could see additional constituencies, the very seats parties are banking on for a win.
We are continuing the registration process. The Prime Minister is rightly concerned that we capture the most up-to-date information before he proceeds with calling an election.
According to sources, the potential addition of another seat could see a shakeup in the Free National Movement from a sitting MP whose eyes are fixed on that new seat. Meanwhile, the Parliamentary Registration Department is said to be in overdrive amid loud whispers that the Commission's report could be laid in the lower chamber once lawmakers return in October. A finalized report, according to sources, could also clear the way for the Davis administration to roll out biometric voters' cards.
The Parliamentary Registration Department have started their work already. We want to ensure that we get the accurate distribution of voters. We know we've had very serious issues like COVID and Hurricane Dorian, etc., that displaced many people.
This update comes as more political hopefuls and incumbents throw their hat into the ring with the political temperature rising. The Coalition of Independents has already completed its slate, the Free National Movement ratifying a mix of incumbents and newcomers. But the governing Progressive Liberal Party has yet to show its hand. So far, incumbent members of Parliament for Golden Isles, North Eleuthera, and Fort Charlotte have disclosed that they do not intend to run in the upcoming general election. All other incumbents for the government party are expected to vie for their seats once again. Political observers believe both major parties are holding back until the Boundaries Commission makes its move. Jose Etienne, Eyewitness News.
Well, with amendments to the Parliamentary Elections Act 2025 passing through the lower and upper chambers earlier this year, tonight, the acting Parliamentary Commissioner, Harrison Thompson, is giving assurances. He says that the new biometric voting system set to be used in the upcoming election is both safe and secure as the country shifts to a more digital approach to this process.
We met with the data commissioner 2 weeks ago, and we are ensuring that the data from the biometrics are secured. The public has nothing to worry about their data being exposed to the public at large. With the data protection policy and laws in the country, we assure that everything will be secured, and the public at large can rest assured that whatever they give to Parliamentary Registration Department, that will be secured. They don't worry about it getting in the wrong hands. So assist us in reducing human error and tampering. In every election you hear about fraud and tampering and all of that kind of things. But this e-poll book, because once you register, once you tick off the name in the e-poll book, it is registered. And nobody could change that. So you could rest assured that the tampering and all of that would be eliminated, and human error would be eliminated. Because once you do that, you're covered.
Thompson also explaining tonight the penalties attached to the new legislation.
The new regulations that was recently passed in Parliament and the Senate makes it very difficult for you to tamper. And if you tamper with the e-poll book or anything dealing with the biometric card, there's a penalty of $10,000 or 12 years in prison or both. It's all and sundry to don't tamper with the process. Go and vote as you normally would, and don't try to do nothing out of the ordinary, because you will be identified and you'll be dealt with according to law.
More clarity tonight on that visa ban United States officials are imposing on Haitian visa applicants in their country. Nearly all visa services being suspended as officials attribute the move to heightened security concerns in Haiti. However, exceptions include diplomatic and official visas, immediate relative immigration visas for U.S. citizens' spouses, children, and parents, and adoptions by U.S. citizens, among others. This comes as the U.S. State Department designating the U.S. Embassy here in the capital as the processing point for Haitian immigrant visa applications coming out of Haiti, a final decision the F&M officials are demanding clarity on.
What the U.S. has indicated, we asked the chargé d'affaires for a meeting. We would have had a meeting with them this morning. And again, we're satisfied that they certainly understand the concerns that Bahamians have expressed. They have indicated that, again, traditionally, persons from Haiti have come to the Bahamas in the past to apply to go into the U.S., and they do not expect that there would be a substantial difference. That is their view, but we expect the Prime Minister, who is responsible to Bahamians, for him to speak to the issues and what exactly they are doing. To what extent was the Bahamian government in discussions with U.S. officials, and did they know in advance that this was occurring? And then secondly, we wanted to know what the operational plans are of the government to address any possible surge of Haitian nationals coming to the Bahamas for the purpose of applying to, again, enter the United States.
Well, police need your help tonight in locating 30-year-old Shenrika Davis. She was last seen on Wednesday, September 3rd at her Balfour Avenue residence. She's of dark brown complexion, standing at 5 foot 4 inches tall. If you have any information on her whereabouts, you're asked to contact police at 911 or 328-TIPS. You can view her photo on our social media pages. Meantime, the search is on tonight for several suspected undocumented individuals who are believed to be living in shanty towns on Andros. This as government efforts continue in demolishing these unregulated communities. Our Linton Ritchie Jr. joining me live in studio with the latest on this. Linton?
Good evening, Janea. Officials from the Department of Immigration, the Royal Bahamas Police Force, Department of Social Services, along with other authorities, flooded the ground in a shantytown community on the island of Andros last week. But while residents of those areas got word of patrols, authorities say persons began to scatter.
Thus far, there were at least approximately about 20 or so persons that ran from us. We were able to apprehend 3 of them.
Individuals believed to be undocumented, fleeing authorities as blue spray paint and demolition warnings were splashed across unregulated structures in the village, a South Andros shanty town. The operation, led by the Unregulated Communities Action Task Force, saw teams moving door to door in a pre-demolition sweep. Building Controls Officer Craig Delancey says the density of the community is exactly what they expected.
We are known to have a number of unregulated structures. We hope to cover most of the area. So it's about roughly 60 to 80 unregulated structures.
Tractors are expected to move in next, clearing out the illegal structures as government presses forward with its demolition mandate. But this is now a multi-agency effort. On the ground, social services teams reassuring displaced Bahamians that resources are available.
We ensured that the persons who live within those communities understood the purpose of the exercise, and we ensured them to secure alternative housing arrangements.
And with critics claiming shanty homes are often rebuilt just weeks after demolition, Superintendent Stephen Carey sent this message to residents.
If you see it, say something about it. We have a hotline that you can call into, and once you call in, it will be noted and we can take some action against it.
Now, Janea, authorities say the search is on for those individuals believed to be undocumented migrants who fled police, and with notices up on the homes, officials say a timeline will soon be made public on when those structures will be teared down. For now, reporting live in studio, I'm Linton Ritchie Jr., sending it back to you at the desk, Janea.
Thanks so much, Linton Ritchie Jr. live tonight. Well, if you've got a news tip or if you've seen news in the making, call the Ion News hotline 397-6397. We also invite you to send your letters to the editor for publication on all of our social media platforms, Eyewitness News Bahamas at gmail.com. And if you're watching on our Facebook or YouTube page, share your thoughts about today's stories in the comments section. We want to hear from you. We're just getting started in Eyewitness News tonight, but when we come back, the AIDS Foundation launching new digital and streaming programs to increase testing. We've got that story coming up. And later tonight, Junkanoo is back in the game and back on Bay. We've got the details right after this break.
Hello, bonjour, hola, hello, ciao.
No matter where your passport takes you, BTC roaming keeps you effortlessly connected. Enjoy seamless calls, lightning-fast data, and affordable roaming across the globe. No SIM swaps, no stress. Just one network, working everywhere. So go ahead, explore the world, and still be just a call away from home.
The last eclipse of our galaxy. Scientists are gathered here today to witness this extraordinary event. Simply marvelous, extraordinary, unforgettable, one of a kind. Oh man, that's amazing.
You can't ignore the craving that makes everything crunch. The new crispy barbecue bacon sandwich with barbecue sauce, cheddar, bacon, crispy onions, and an extra large chicken fillet. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Looking for insurance that fits your lifestyle and your budget? At Star General Insurance, we've got you covered. Whether it's motor insurance with flexible options for third-party liability and comprehensive coverage, or commercial insurance products that protect your business, we have choices you can afford. Own a home or renting? Our home insurance products have just what you need. And for the adventurers out there, we offer marine insurance too. Visit our website or social media pages for contact information and quotes. Star General, insurance made simple.
Stop, man, stop. Boy, it's hot today, boy. You see that? Mm-hmm. That's snowing. I can cool off, man.
Where you going? Get back here. Don't go in there.
I can inside
I
there.
can cook whatever you want tonight. Where you going?
You gonna do what?
I can cook whatever tonight.
I forget you can't cook.
Step out the heat and enter Skypole. Expert installation, cool comfort, and reliable service. Brought to you by Discount AC and Supplies. Your one-stop shop for top-tier AC units.
The Royal Bahamas Police Force is one of the most unique professions because it allows you to work in almost every field.
For the police, I fly the unmanned aerial vehicles.
Because I always had an interest in forensic science.
The most interesting area that I would have been exposed to would have been the fire prevention section. It's so much you can pursue.
I get to serve my community and my people every day. Log on to our webpage. There's information about the recruitment process and all of our various departments.
This segment of Eyewitness News is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back. Here's a look at your Eyewitness News gas tracker. You're getting the cheapest tonight at Rubas and Nassau tonight, both $5.48. Shell coming in at $5.49. Welcome back. You're watching Eyewitness News. Well, as health officials reveal an uptick in new HIV and AIDS infections, the Bahamas AIDS Foundation is stepping up its efforts, rolling out new digital and streaming initiatives. It's aimed at boosting testing and awareness across the country. Lyndon Ritchie Jr. has this health report.
Making HIV and AIDS testing more accessible in the Bahamas is now a top priority for the Bahamas AIDS Foundation. The nonprofit has officially launched at-home testing, encouraging those hesitant about public testing to find out their status in the comfort of their own space. President R. Ford telling reporters that testing is non-negotiable. The goal is simple.
You should be more afraid of being infected and not being aware than going and getting tested and becoming aware to get on medication.
Earlier this year, Ministry of Health officials revealed a sharp increase in new HIV cases. 156 persons newly diagnosed, youth ages 15 to 24, represented 14% of that number. Stakeholders say many at-risk individuals struggle with fear, stigma, and limited options.
There are people who are in situations where they are compromised. There are people who are commercial sex workers or living very risky lives.
Ford is urging anyone susceptible to take advantage of resources free of charge through the National AIDS Program.
If you've been exposed or think you may have been exposed, it's very important to get on PEP right away. So in the instance you was exposed to HIV, you don't develop the disease.
With the rollout of at-home testing and the push for PrEP, officials stress help is just a call away. Contact the Bahamas AIDS Foundation at 325-9326. Lynton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
Well, all Junkanoo events now back on the drawing board. The Genesis Warhawks say they are relieved that Junkanoo practices and parades can resume as of today, following the orders of the Junkanoo Corporation of New Providence that all activities be suspended in direct response to the government's Junkanoo Authority Bill, which the JCMP deemed controversial. Eyewitness News speaking to Angelique McKay, the Public Relations Director of the Genesis Warhawks. She says despite the order being lifted, they're still searching for answers tonight.
We saw it when it appeared on Facebook. The group is still trying to wrap our minds around what actually caused the suspension, as well as how the JCNP's tentacles were able to reach off of Bay Street, where their only purpose is to manage the Christmas Day Parade and the New Year's Day Parade. We are happy that they have made that announcement for Junkanoo activities and practices to resume. Our practices are fundraising events for our Teen Hawks program to assist with buying instruments and assist our Teen Hawks with costumes, because as you know, teenagers don't have full-time jobs.
McKay says communication between the JCMP and the Genesis Warhawks have been stagnant, with speculation surrounding the upcoming event. She says clarity is needed. She's describing the morale to be at an all-time low within the Junkanoo community.
We haven't had any communication with regards to that, but we did have a few questions with regards to hearing about this independent parade that they have planned. We're not sure what's going on with that. So we did have a few questions surrounding that. Junkanoo community, as well as the fans of Junkanoo, because this suspension has really put a damper on Junkanoo, and it's dampened the morale of Junkanoos, honestly. You know, Junkanoo is like in a fraternity where all of us gather together, and generally persons' morale have been dampened because of the suspension and because of the threat of being suspended from the JCMP if you continue Junkanoo activities. So persons are like, should we do this or should we do that? We don't know, because you would hear it from the general population. Genesis Warhawks are the Warhawks of change.
Minister Leslie Miller not off the hook just yet, despite issuing an apology for referring to Senator Michaela Barnett Ellis as a little girl, as he seemingly opposed the Free National Movement's ratifying Barnett Ellis as a candidate for the Killarney constituency, which former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis held since 2007. This time, the FNM leader Michael Pintard is speaking out, calling Miller's comments alarming, especially given his track record, he says.
He's often irresponsible in a number of comments that he makes, and this is yet another, another statement that is most irresponsible, and is disrespectful to women in general. He has a daughter that's doing a commendable job in the Parliament of the Bahamas. And again, it's disrespectful to all women who serve or seek to serve. You would have remembered some unfortunate remarks he made when he was a member of Parliament, again, relative to women. That was most distasteful then. And he has been a fierce defender of others who have been accused of similar action. So I don't have a great deal of expectation that he would speak in a responsible manner, and I trust that others would not follow his example.
Moving on to news tonight, September Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. One local doctor is leading the charge in the fight against a disease that continues to take a heavy toll on Bahamian men. Our Delano Roker has more on how early detection can be the key to saving lives.
It's often called the silent killer, striking without symptoms in the early stages. And here in the Bahamas, prostate cancer is now the most commonly diagnosed cancer, outpacing even breast cancer. Urologist Dr. Gregory Pinto says the biggest risk factor is age, with cases skyrocketing in men over 50.
1 in 6 to 1 in 7 men are going to get prostate cancer in their lifetime. Unfortunately, because the demographics of our society were primarily of African ancestry, the number one risk factor for prostate cancer is advancing age. It's a disease of older men. Although because of genetics or familial disposition, you can possibly see in rare cases of patients getting prostate cancer in their early 30s. But the average age of someone getting prostate cancer in this society is about 63, 64.
Still, Pinto stresses that a diagnosis is not a death sentence, with modern treatments giving men a fighting chance.
Obviously, you're going to get those who are going to get it earlier, those who are going to get it later. If you live to over 80, basically every man is going to get some element of prostate cancer, but the vast majority of those men are going to die with the disease, not from the disease. The wonderful news is that prostate cancer has an excellent cure rate. The 10-year survival for early disease is about 98%, though 5-year survival for prostate cancer is nearly 100%. So nothing in life is certain, but it's nearly 100%.
And he says the facts remain the same, urging men to seek their primary healthcare physicians to protect themselves and their families from the financial burdens of a diagnosis.
The opposite is that you're going to have a very difficult, painful, arduous death where you may become paraplegic with the prostate cancer spreading to your spine, where you may develop kidney failure, where you're going to die from the actual kidney failure, not from the prostate cancer, which is an expensive death on many levels, not just financially, but emotionally, physically. Men who never want to be in the hospital, in and out of hospital, possibly needing dialysis, requiring medication just to give them a few more months of life that is exceedingly expensive. Some of these medications are $8,000, $10,000 a month. So please get your annual physicals every year for many reasons.
The message this month is clear. Don't wait. Talk to your doctor, get screened, and remember, knowing your status can save your life. Delano Roker, Eyewitness News.
Well, Island Luck card holders are being offered free testing for prostate for the month of September. Meantime, dozens of parliamentary officials here in the country and throughout the region gathering at the Margaretville Resort on Monday for the start of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association's 47th Regional Conference. The event is being hosted under the theme Deepening Regional Democracy and Building Independent Parliaments. Addressing those gathered, Acting Prime Minister Chester Cooper, who spoke on the importance of officials preserving parliamentary democracy that has long been a source of pride for officials.
So what does it mean for us here today? Firstly, it means recommitting to representation. Parliaments must speak for the whole, not just the powerful. Secondly, it means modernizing. Technology has changed how citizens live and think, and therefore we must evolve. Thirdly, it means defending the dignity of parliamentary life. Debates must be fierce, but not demeaning. Disagreements must be sharp, but not destructive. The health of our politics is measured not only by the laws we pass, but by the way we treat each other in the process. And fourthly, it means embracing regional and global solidarity. None of our parliaments can face today's challenges alone.
Also on hand for the regional conference, members of the opposition. During his remarks, opposition leader Michael Pintard raising concern about a controversial issue that's dominated headlines after the Davis administration was sworn into office.
Our parliament face structural challenges that undermine their independence. Among them, oversized cabinets, which limit the members of truly independent voices in the legislature, and committees that often lack the authority and resources to provide real oversight. Strengthening these areas is essential if Parliament is to serve as a true check on executive power.
Meantime, the Bahamas AIDS Foundation announcing the return of the annual Red Ribbon Ball, this year under the unique theme, hoping to capture the spirit of resilience, unity, and determination. Stakeholders say this event is a financial lifeline for the AIDS Foundation, as a number of initiatives depend on the fundraising effort. President Arame Ford noting that tickets are priced at $375 per person and corporate tables are on sale in hopes to fill the room for a great cause.
We are delighted to announce that this 29th Red Ribbon Ball will be held on Saturday, the 8th of November at Atlantis Paradise Island in the Grand Ballroom, under the vibrant and powerful theme, New York, New York. Why New York? Because New York City has long stood at the epicenter of the global fight against HIV and AIDS. It was one of the first cities to feel the devastating impact of the epidemic and one of the most resilient in the HIV response. The Red Ribbon Ball is not just an evening of elegance and entertainment, but it is a strong reminder that there are still people living with the disease and in need of support. The Red Ribbon Ball is a lifeline. The funds we raise are critical to maintain our outreach programs, medication assistance, education and testing, counseling services.
Well, a number of corporate sponsors or partners are on board. They are emphasizing the need for companies to step to the plate as the nonprofit plays a critical role in making a stronger, healthier, and more compassionate Bahamas.
We know from over the years that this ball is the major fundraiser for the Bahamas AIDS Foundation, and we've been in it with them from day one. But we are also committed and share the commitment of this foundation to ensure HIV/AIDS is something that has no stigma attached to it.
We believe that we want to be a part of life's most memorable moments, and there's nothing more memorable and exciting than the annual Red Ribbon Ball. We're proud that we're also sponsoring the grand prize, so we're hopeful to that person, we're happy for that person rather, who will be going to Napa Valley.
At Zaymar, our role extends beyond providing sound, lighting, and ambience, but it's all about creating an environment where purpose and passion can shine with the mission of the foundation is amplified.
On to some other news. BTC investing in the next generation of leaders through its graduate program, an initiative that continues to shape the future of the corporate leadership in the country. Delano Roker has the details tonight.
After 2 years of intense hands-on training across multiple departments, two standouts, Nicholas Hudson and Kenesha Johnson, have completed the BTC graduate program. Both are now promoted to permanent supervisory roles within the company. BTC's Director of B2B, Delmaro Duncombe, says their success is a milestone, bringing new energy and perspective to the team.
Longevity and life of any successful organization is really dependent on new blood. And the new energy, the innovation, just their way of thinking, entering the B2B space has been, I would say, a blessing for us, and it's been a huge boost for us. Because we may have been accustomed to doing things a certain way. So it's always good to get a fresh set of eyes with a new perspective to help us think about doing things a little bit differently. And that helps with efficiency. It helps with us being more innovative. And at the end of the day, our customers benefit.
The graduate program is designed to attract and nurture young professionals, equipping them with skills and mentorship needed to step into leadership roles. Recent graduate Kenisha Johnson, now a senior associate pre-sales engineer, is encouraging her peers to take every opportunity.
It's very good to get into a graduate program, especially the BTC graduate program, because it allows you to go into so many different areas. With a lot of graduate programs, you get to go into one area and develop for 2-3 years. But with the LLA graduate program, I got to go into 4 different areas, which is something that you don't really see often. So I would definitely say that for people coming out of school to get into the BTC graduate program or try to apply as soon as possible.
For Nicholas Hudson, who graduated the program in 2024 and now holds the role of Senior Associate Business Analyst, the experience has been an eye-opener, stretching beyond the Bahamas to foster stronger regional connections.
I think it's very important because telecommunications isn't just a local thing, it's an international thing. We're trying to reach out to people across the globe, and it should start with our Caribbean neighbors, our Caribbean brothers and sisters. They're right there to us, so if we can talk to them easier, we can talk to the world easier.
BTC's Director of People, Patrice Thompson, reinforced the company's commitment to young achievers, pointing to training, mentorship, and hands-on experience as keys to long-term success.
The Junior Achievers is actually a great foundation. They get to work along with BTC and work along with BTC leaders. So they have access to see what is possible. So we definitely want our junior achievers to apply when we have the opportunity and go through the rigorous process. We definitely want that. We want that for them.
The next cycle of the BTC graduate program is highly competitive. Candidates must hold a university degree, undergo multiple interviews, and present an innovative project to showcase their talents. Delana Roker, Eyewitness News.
Bringing the nation back in order. That's the goal of Apostle Clement Russell and Heal Our Nation Ministries, their one-night conference called Oneness. Russell is encouraging all men to come together to be refreshed in the truth at the Baptist Auditorium on Jean Street off of Prince Charles Drive. The keynote speaker is Prophet Micklin Seymour.
And so this oneness gathering that he calls for is for us to represent him anointing us in a specific healing and sealing to be his representative of healing the land. You must be honest that we are in trouble as a nation because of the character ills that we see flourishing. We hate to have to connect to murder, but murder is one of them. Each life is very important. And so we have to address the issues of our ills by coming back into God's order.
Weather update tonight. The director of the Department of Meteorology, Jeffrey Simmons, says residents in the northern Bahamas should continue to expect heavy rainfall for the next few days as a system trailing between South Florida and the Bahamas will bring rain inches up to 4. Simmons emphasizing the rain could bring flooding and persons should be prepared.
We issued the, well, it's a follow-up really to something that we had issued more than a week ago. You'll see that last week we had a rain just about every day. And we expect that, it's from a lingering frontal boundary that was lingering around the northern part of the country. It's migrated somewhat to the north, so really we only, continuing it this week for islands like Grand Bahama, Abaco, Berries, and Bimini. And so until about Thursday. So we're looking just basically the same thing that we had experienced around here in the past week. 1 to 2 inches of rainfall in some areas. So therefore, some areas can't take so much of rainfall, you're going to get flooding. So we just put it out as an advisory for residents who live in those areas and expect these rainfall and we'll have some flooding.
So the Government Eyewitness News tonight, a local CEO making her mark on the printing industry. We've got her story coming up, but first, a check on tonight's weather forecast.
Sting Junkanoo Group is celebrating 25 years of music, and you're invited to the greatest show ever. Counting down the years, performing hit song after hit songs. VVS, Colin McDonald, KB, Dyson Knight and D-Mark. Saturday, November 1st at the Farm Marshall Road, 8 p.m. until. Tickets can be purchased online at www.bahamasettickets.com for your skybox or to be a food vendor. Call 424-6433, 477-0191. Sponsored by ZNS, Island Luck TV, The Farm, Gatorade Today and Co. Limited, Chris Minute and Associates.
At the Water and Sewage Corporation, safety and convenience are our top priorities. However, our meter readers face challenges that can make their job difficult. Locked gates to guard dogs sometimes leads to missed readings and estimated bills, which can be frustrating for you and us. That's why we're upgrading to digital meters. They bring safety, accuracy, and convenience to homes across the Bahamas. We can streamline data collection, reduce on-site visits, and provide more accurate bills with no more estimates. Digital meters also help detect leaks early, saving you from costly bills and reducing water waste. Soon, a user-friendly app will let you track your water usage, manage bills, and stay informed, all at your fingertips. Over the next year, we're rolling out digital meters nationwide, transforming how we serve you with a safer and cost-efficient water supply. To learn about our digital meters, visit our website or call us today. And don't forget to update your information at any of our locations.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. Well, when it comes to turning creative ideas into a reality, one local entrepreneur is making her mark. Laurencia Smith has more of her story tonight.
This particular business grew from just a laptop and a desktop printer to having commercial printers and having the drive and the push that we are giving it. It's definitely been a journey.
And when you step into Elite Printing and Design Solution, you'll find commercial printers producing everything from worksheets for teachers to business cards for professionals. Nestled in the Nassau Village community, it's the same neighborhood where CEO Valencia Oliver says she learned the value of hard work and an entrepreneurial mindset, lessons she credits to her parents.
Their livelihood was in this building. They grew us up and they taught us the meaning of success here. And it was important for me to return to my roots. It was important for us to understand that, hey, if they did it, we could do it too.
Oliver says that her husband was the one who encouraged her to monetize on her services. But like many businesses today, she admits the COVID-19 pandemic was where her business really took off.
My friends and family reached out to me, hey, I need a logo. Hey, I need a business card. Hey, I need a flyer. And that was basically where it launched. Through helping Bahamians to be able to create a better version of their brand through design and through print.
There's been some good and bad days, and Oliver candidly admitted that funding has been her greatest hurdle.
Expensive printers, you require a lot of maintenance to those printers, and so initially funding was an issue for us, but I would say through the grace of God, we've been able to secure some funding through different means, in Bahamas, through SBDC, that has assisted us in being able to scale up our business.
The 33-year-old shared this advice to anyone who's looking to start a business.
Have the courage to show up. Have the courage to, regardless of how it may seem, to show up. It might not be ideally the way that you imagine. Rome was not built in one day. My advice is show up anyway.
And if you're looking for printing services, you can find Elite Printing and Design Solution on all social media platforms. The CEO says she's ready to bring your creative ideas to life. Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Laurencia. Well, Laurencia Smith has a check on sports. Good evening, Laurencia.
Good evening, Janae. Well, it was a very exciting weekend for some of the country's top junior basketball players as they had a chance to compete in a tournament. I'll tell you more about it straight ahead in sports.
It's me, Wednesday Addams. Your life just took a dark turn. I regret to inform you that I have devised the meal of misfortune with Wendy's. It's pure torture for your taste buds, with 4 nightmares dips of dread. Don't waste my time asking which ones you'll get. You must surrender to your fate. Enjoy the anguish.
Come and visit us at Shop Smart, 'cause everything is here.
Yes, we have it all for you. Toys, clothing, office supplies, appliances, custom cut blinds, bedding, drapes, and rugs. Come and visit us on Mackey Street, 2 blocks down from Wolf Road. Call us at 698-1052.
Shop Smart, at Shop Smart, at Shop Smart. Oh, everything is here.
Man, they been at this for hours, wait, trying to find this bucket list bliss treasure everybody talking about. Finally, Miko, you still out here digging for treasure like you was pirates? You out here sweating like you fighting for your life? Only thing you doing is putting sand in my drink, Miko. Miko!
Good news! You don't have to dig for this treasure. Just apply and get approved for a BOB loan or credit card, and you're in to win a trip of a lifetime. Plus other great prizes like water park passes, restaurant vouchers, and VIP movie tickets. Get approved and you could be living large in Las Vegas, striking a pose in Paris, catching a cab in New York, twisted spaghetti in Rome, looking royal in London, or shopping in Panama.
X marks the spot, and it's right here at BOB. And don't forget to get a loan with my name too, because I'm going to ruin Miko.
Apply today for a BOB loan or Visa credit card. Win the trip of a lifetime, plus weekly prizes. Email loans@bankbahamas.com.
Before that school bell rings, you need to pay a visit to Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. See Best Tuna, 5 ounces, 85 cents. Best Value Whole Kernel Corn, 15 ounces, 99 cents. Sweet Gala Apples, 3 for $1. Pretty Lady Red or Green Seedless Grapes, $3.99 per pound. Baby Back Spare Ribs, $2.99 per pound. Boneless Chicken Breast, $2.79 per pound. Save on school snacks and supplies at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance, peace of mind.
The Royal Bahamas Police Force is one of the most unique professions because it allows you to work in almost every field.
For the police, I fly the unmanned aerial vehicles.
Because I always had an interest in forensic science.
The most interesting area that I would have been exposed to would have been the fire prevention section. It's so much you can pursue.
I get to serve my community and my people every day. Log on to our webpage. There's information about the recruitment process and all of our various departments.
Eyewitness Sports is brought to you by 103.5 The Beat.
Welcome to another edition of Eyewitness Sports. I'm Laurencia Smith. Thanks for joining us. Kicking things off tonight in sports, we're on the basketball court. On Saturday, NBA star Kai Jones hosted the inaugural One-Up Cup tournament. The event brought together 32 of the Bahamas' top middle school basketball players, giving them the chance to showcase their skills in a single elimination tournament.
Together and have a tournament like this, and yeah, I'm so blessed to be able to give back. I'm just happy to help. Check where we were at AF Adley Gym. Some of you guys may have seen the clip we were working, and Jalen Fernando asked me if I could please come home and do something like this, because we were talking about it, and I was looking forward to doing something like this from when I was ending the season. So that's where the inspiration came from. Me and Jalen Fernando kind of spoke about it. A young man like him, wise, and I said, you know what? He wants to go off to school.
Team GOAT are the new champions, defeating Team Infinity 62-47 in the title matchup. Draymond Ellis earned the Most Valuable Player honors, while Sidney Higgs was named Defensive Player of the Tournament, and Sportsmanship Award went to Von Roll, and Chaz Bethel took home the three-point contest crown. The youngster also had a chance to take part in drills and skill sessions, gaining a rare chance to learn exactly from Kai himself. So what's next for the tournament?
Go into one-on-one tournaments, 2-on-2 tournaments, just strictly three-point shootouts, and also have camps and clinics where kids who didn't get the opportunity and they want to keep growing, they can come and train and get some work in here with the videography, the same setup, and we can live stream it and continue to make them superstars that they are, and so everybody knows their name. I want everybody to know these guys.
Well, congratulations to all of the youngsters. Now, in other news from sports, we turn to Mingo Nation, and they're in the full swing of their cross-country season.
The University of the Bahamas athletics program kicking off the season with both the men's and the women's cross-country teams in action over at the Kaiser University Flagship Invitational over the weekend. On the men's side, Levine Joseph led the charge, finishing the 5K in a time of 18 minutes, good for a 38th place out of 72 runners. Just behind him, Jackson Oyez crossed the line in a time of 18.02, landing 39th, while Ken Law Jane crossed the line in 16.4, finishing 40th. Newcomer Delvis Culmer and Jason Ferguson finish in the time of 18.22.4 and 20.43.1 respectively, helping the team to score 185 points to claim a 7th overall finish. Joseph said his plan was simple: stay strong, stay focused, and push the pace.
The plan was to run more comfortable than usual. I didn't want to get out too fast and then ending up, not being able to finish towards the end. So it was a good race. I think it was a good race.
On the women's side, newcomer Bernicia Nelson led the University of the Bahamas team with a strong 25-minute finish in the 5K. Naja Mortimer followed with a time of 26.03.4 seconds, while Sienna Mackey clocked a time of 27.40.7, and Marquel Newbold crossed the line in a time of 29.005 seconds. UB did not field a full team of 5, so they were not eligible to score in the team competition. Nelson said that she went into the challenge course with a clear path. I knew exactly what I had to do.
It was kind of rough for my first time because I'm still getting used to running long distance, like running cross country on the whole. But during the race, I started off with the crew. They pulled away. I kept going. As I went on, I passed a lot of other females, and I just kept going.
Well, that's what's making sports at this hour. I'm Lauren Smith. Stay tuned for more news on the other side of the break.
We're learning, even playing, we're having lots of fun. We're working with each other until the day is done. It's with great joy and warm hearts that we welcome you to our school today. We are proud to share our school with you, a place where curiosity grows, friendship blossoms, and every child is encouraged to shine.
That was the enthusiastic and warm welcome that first graders of Stephen Dillard Primary School gave to Education Minister Glenys Hannah Martin and to members of her executive team during their official visit to the school. The team offered the student body powerful words of encouragement.
Continue to ask questions, to be curious. Embrace every challenge and know that we believe in you. As we move forward, let us continue to strengthen the bonds between schools, families, and our community.
I want you boys and girls who are here to take responsibility for this school, how it's viewed in the public's eye, how you manage yourselves, how you prepare yourselves, how you perform. Because who you are and what you are is what this school is. And we're seeing what this school is. And we're learning who you are and what you are. And we know that you are among the great citizens of this nation.
And the visit ended with nothing less than a brilliant burst of Bahamian culture. That'll do it for Ed Talk.
This year marks a milestone. The OWN Foundation is celebrating 10 years of impact, innovation, and inspiration. Join us for OWN Talks, September 12th at the Atlantis Resort, Paradise Island at 7 p.m. for a transformative experience under the theme, Activate. Taking the stage are world-renowned leaders and visionaries. Sebastian Bastian, visionary entrepreneur, philanthropist, and CEO of Island Luck and Weiss Technology Group. Barbara Corcoran, legendary real estate mogul, entrepreneur, investor, and star of Shark Tank. Vusi Tembekwayo, global business strategist, venture capitalist, and one of Africa's most influential thought leaders. Be part of this unforgettable evening as the OWN Foundation celebrates a decade of purpose and progress. And together, we activate the future.
Numbers, $1 million. Every 3 days, a number is revealed. Act fast, your million is waiting.
Crack that code when $1 million clear.
Crack the code before the last lock clicks shut. Get ready to join the winner's circle only at islandluck.com.
Crack the code and win $1 million.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Well, that wraps up news at this hour. Coming up and Beyond the Headlines with Shanique Miller, a look at today's top stories. That's coming up. And Beyond the Headlines, it starts right after this. That does it for us here at Eyewitness News. It's certainly been a pleasure having you in our company tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Janae Nawal saying good night. Be safe, everyone.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza.
We all know there are ways we can help. Your help can go even further. an everyday superhero. Donate to Hands for Hunger.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go, to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza.
We all know there are ways we can help. Your help can go even further. Be an everyday superhero. Donate to Hands for Hunger.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay eatin' well.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience. The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up tonight, Bahamas Air trimming the fat today, firing the airline pilot behind those shocking voice notes that revealed negligence and carelessness in the cockpit. This is the second incident involving Bahamas Air in recent time. Do you remember the fight involving those two pilots in Marsh Harbor, Abaco? That was just a few weeks ago. The big question tonight, what in the world is happening at Bahamas Air? Also tonight, VAT dropped from 10 to 5% on September 1st. We hear your unfiltered thoughts coming up. Also tonight, Grand Bahamians asking for an update on any of the numerous projects in the pipeline. We talk about that as well tonight. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Bahamas Air officials moving swiftly to address a matter that made headlines nationally and internationally, putting the national flag carrier's brand and reputation on the line. Devontae Hanna has been following the story since it broke last week. He has the latest tonight.
The captain involved has since been relieved of his duties, and he is no longer employed with the airline.
Bahamas are bringing to an end turbulent times caused by a pilot employed by the airline for 12 years after two incidents reported last week. The first, a cockpit dispute on a flight to Marsh Harbor, Abaco, with continuation to West Palm Beach. The ATR turboprop departed from Nassau.
However, upon arrival in Marsh Harbor, the first officer advised the airline's Operation Control Center of a concern regarding cockpit dynamics and recommended, in the interest of professional standards, that the flight not proceed until the matter was reviewed.
That prompted Bahamas Air officials to bring the pilot, who identified himself as J-Roll Pilot 3479, in for questioning, strongly advising him to correct his behavior.
He was, at that time, advised and told what needed to be done, he needed to do to change his ways. And rather than take our advisement to him, he responded in the way that he did.
Just a week later, he recorded himself sounding off on his fellow pilots. He says he was accused of vaping and running a slack operation. He later accused them of using cell phones and moving in the cockpit without his approval.
You would notice in his voicemail he was also indicating that he allowed that to happen. It is a matter that we were addressing with him, that he shouldn't allow those things to happen.
For passengers, trust in your airline is everything. And with this latest string of controversy, Bahamas Air finds itself not only managing its airlines, but its reputation.
Bahamas Air has been around for a while, and we would hope that the traveling public would simply look at the record that has been there. And in this instance, again, we're reinforcing that that individual is actually brought in and spoken to because he was not the norm at Bahamas Air.
Cooper maintained that Bahamas Air has a zero-tolerance policy for intimidation and unprofessional conduct, adding that adjustments have been made to fill in the void of the relieved pilot. Devontae Hanna, Eyewitness News.
And so there you have that. So apparently I'm getting two things sort of, but you all know what happened, right? So apparently this pilot or more than one of them were having issues for a while. Because remember the fight that took place in Abaco, and then we hear these voice notes. So as we are learning now, this pilot intentionally leaked those voice notes because of that incident, and where he obviously was called in for some sort of reprimand. The question tonight is this. Bahamas Air has gained the reputation, and rightfully so, for being one of the safest airlines, well, not always on time, but one of the safest, most trusting or trustworthy airlines, with its pilots in particular being above board anywhere in the world among any pilots. The thing is, and I know on this show we talk about giving young people a chance, and I don't know, this person is a 12-year veteran, but I don't know his age. I'm just saying, when in the Bahamas we have to earn our way and pride and prize professionalism and hard work and dedication and commitment, we cannot toss those things out the window, particularly when you're in the air. When you're in the air, such a vulnerable space to be in, and depending on those people in that cockpit. It is quite daunting and it is quite upsetting. It is worrisome of what has transpired and took place. Of course, we heard the voice notes. We saw that pilot has been fired, but what else is happening at Bahamas Air? We're going to bring in right now the Hot Topics panelists, Beyond the Headlines contributors, Leslie Miller and Garth Rosborough. Gentlemen, good evening to both of you. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you both here.
Good night to everyone.
Good evening.
Listen, gentlemen, I want to ask you all to weigh in. We see Bahamas Air stepped up and I guess they had to do it because this story has gone viral everywhere for concern. It isn't just something to laugh at. I mean, there's no laughing matter. Your thoughts on just what took place, the slackness that was happening and perhaps still is in some instances, because people say, listen, is this why there are so many delays? I mean, we hear Bahamas Air now is shortage on aircraft. But other than that, is this why there are so many delays, or the service and we just can't seem to get things ever on the right path for Bahamas Air? When we hear stuff like this, people are saying, things that make you go,
Shanique Miller, what an interesting story tonight, and thank you for having me once again. I actually travel in the morning. I normally travel on our fly carrier, Bahamas Air, because like you said, I do trust my national carrier. I may be late sometime, but it always gets me there with the feeling that I'm thankful. Tomorrow morning, I'm flying on another airline. I'm not mentioning their name, but I have to make a connecting flight. And I don't know what's going on in these cockpits. I don't know what the disputes are. I don't know what the corporation of Bahamas Air is saying. But, you know, I've been familiar with having been stranded in the airport overnight with Bahamas Air. I do not want to get involved in a delay tomorrow. But it is concerning, Shanique Miller. I don't think there's a real safety concern. It seems as if the administration is dealing with the matter as they should. A firing has taken place, so that should also give us some confidence that they are doing their due diligence. But I also feel that this is a great example of Bahamian corporations and entities, government situations, putting their foot down and keeping the standard to where it should be.
Well, so, you were saying there isn't cause for concern. You remember the guy said in the voice note, he's no longer going to allow this and that, meaning it was slackness all around.
Yes.
You do this, man, while I vape. You do this. You could go on TikTok and shoot your little TikTok video to show that you're a pilot in the skies. While I vape and smoke and do whatever else we do in the cockpit. And so it can tell you that the entire operation needs a cleanup.
Yeah, that is true, but I've never been given that feeling of fear with Bahamas Air. I didn't even know these things actually took place. Now that we're hearing it, you might be concerned, but as for me, the type experience that I've always had with Bahamas Air was always a great takeoff, a great flight, a great
we
landing.
We all have. I don't quite understand if you on the same show or listening to what I've said.
With you, Shanique
we all trust Bahamas Air. That is what I started with saying.
I'm saying I still do.
We trust, exactly. But when you hear these little things that go on, that is the thing that make you say, wait a minute, don't just fire that one, go and inspect the others. Leslie, your thoughts?
You know, it's unfortunate what has taken place over the last few weeks with regard to Bahamas. I have the greatest respect for Bahamas Air pilots, especially some of those who have retired over the years. They were as good as any pilot in the world. We had no incidents of death or crash. I think it's a situation where some just went awry and brought down the standards that the older pilots implemented and adhered to. People need to appreciate that the pilot is really the most important person on the plane, and the co-pilot.
That's right.
And for those things that happen in the cockpit, that they claim happened, they had to do the right thing.
Yes.
I agree that maybe others that needs to go, we're not aware of it ourselves. So I'm not going to speak on something that we're not aware of.
That's correct.
But I would say that I feel comfortable
Yes.
in flying my national airline. The only airline I ever used in all of my life was Bahamas. From the time we incorporated it back, I think it was 1982, I believe, we incorporated Bahamas Air. We traveled Bahamas Air. And the record is second to none. And those bad apples that are in there need to be weeded out.
Yes.
To put pride and sensibility back into it, because we serve the larger world, really, with the tourism sector that we have. So I trust that what has happened was unfair. It's unfortunate that those things happen, and I hope that the way forward is a better way for all of us involved, especially the flying public.
Absolutely, mainly us. I mean, we're the ones who the Bahamas are in the business of flying, and we fly them. And so certainly, of course, managing director, look into what the pilot said, and don't know if he was being mischievous or not, but he said, listen, what you all ain't gonna do no more in my cockpit is this, so see if it's happening. This is what we're trying to say, because whenever we fly, we want to know that the pilots are paying attention to every instrument and to the skies ahead of them. It's as simple as that. Leave the phones alone. Meanwhile, you all, Acting Prime Minister Chester Cooper is lauding the government's reductions to value-added tax on a range of essential items. He says that it will give consumers breathing room when they hit the grocery stores. Well, that's very important. That list of newly reduced VAT items include medicine, medical supplies, feminine hygiene products, and baby and adult diapers. This, as the reduction took effect about a week ago, September 1st, after it was announced by Prime Minister Davis during his budget communication in May. Now, members of the Free National Movement have downplayed the reduction, noting that, quite frankly, there were no taxes on a number of items in the first place. Cooper, however, is shrugging the opposition's criticisms.
Ask the consumers if they appreciate that there have been cuts. And I think there will be a resounding yes. Paying less is more than paying more. And I think that's the reality of where we are. Let me just tell you that the issue of cost of living is something that the government is concerned about. We are putting in place strategies. This has just been one of those strategies. We are improving our work in consumer protection. We are also improving our work as it relates to building trade alliances and encouraging shipping from other countries in addition to the traditional source markets. So we are confident that we are putting in steady work. In addition, we are looking to see how we can manifest much of the reforms in electricity to ensure that the Bahamian people begin to feel the results of the work. We are confident that collectively, when we put all of these pieces together, we will be able to successfully impact cost of living for the people, for the Bahamian people.
Well, as the Davis administration is taking another step to ease the burden, you heard the Deputy Prime Minister and Acting Prime Minister Chester Cooper there a moment ago, off the backs of Bahamians. The opposition says it's a move out of their playbook. Laurencia Smith has reaction tonight, and then we come back and talk about it.
What the U.S. has indicated, we asked the charge d'affaires for a meeting. We would have had a meeting with them this morning. And again, we're satisfied that they certainly understand the concerns that Bahamians have expressed. They have indicated that, again, traditionally, persons.
For the second time this year, government has reduced value-added tax. As of September 1st, VAT dropped to 5% on baby and adult diapers, feminine hygiene products, medication, medical and dental supplies. Government say the move is meant to provide relief for residents struggling with the rising cost. But with the general election less than a year away, some believe it may be politically motivated.
I mean, these things we need, and being like they don't know we need these things, so could be, but stuff that we need, that's what they should be doing.
The reduction was first introduced by Prime Minister Philip Davis during his budget communication in May. Earlier in April, government also cut VAT on food items, including fresh produce, baby food, snacks, and frozen food. Another resident told Eyewitness News that the move shows that the administration is finally listening to the cries of the Bahamian household.
I think they're hearing the cries of the people. I don't think it's a political ploy. I think it's the cries of the people. Things are really tough out here, so I think that could ease some of the burden.
When the Davis administration took office, it lowered the general VAT rate from 12 to 10%, but also raised VAT on some items, including medication, from 0 to 10%. Now, the Bahamas Pharmaceutical Association is renewing its call for VAT on medication to be completely removed, even as it welcomes this latest cut.
These are essential items. People aren't buying those at the convenience. They're buying it because they have to. And so when VAT was first instituted, there was no VAT on medicines. And for some reason, somebody thought it was smart to put VAT on medicines. We opposed it then. We continue to oppose it now.
Under the Minnis administration, breadbasket items were VAT-free. Opposition leader Michael Pintard says while he's glad the government has taken his party advice, more still needs to be done.
Gone far enough. We want them to say, essentially, that they will take VAT of all breadbasket items. They will expand the group of products that will be included in the breadbasket bundle.
Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
Well, you heard exactly how the people are feeling. Many are applauding and saying, listen, excellent, wonderful idea. The government listened to us and bringing the ease that Bahamians need. Others, including the opposition, say, wait a minute though, but these items had no VAT to begin with. What's the celebration about?
For Christ's sake.
Go ahead, Leslie. Yes, I'm agreeing with you.
No, I mean, I don't understand. You know, the government don't just arbitrarily take VAT off items that had no VAT on it. I mean, let's get sensible here now. Okay? It was the F&M government that had the 10%, the 12% VAT on the backs of Bahamian people. Why did they do that? That was political? I wouldn't think so. They just decided to do it for whatever reason. Now you put it down, you bring it down now, and it's a political ploy. It's just nonsensical. These guys need to get on board and come with things that's going to change the aspect of how people think about governance and how the Bahamian people are hurting financially with going to the food. So I go there every single week. Most of you guys even go to the damn food store. That's why you don't know what's going on. People appreciate any decrease in the cost of living to take the burden off their backs. Get used to it, man, and try to do for the people instead of talking. You were there and you didn't do it. And now you're complaining that it's being done.
Well, so what is to their argument that, listen, there are some of these items that did not have VAT on them to begin with?
What items? See, they didn't name one. Did they name any of the items? None?
Well,
to my knowledge.
I don't have a problem with anything being political at this time, Leslie Miller. We know that we are in the political season. If the governing party wants to reduce VAT for political ploy, this is the season for it. As for the Free National Movement, we're watching you. Your back-to-school programs, maybe you should have done something about giving the children something for school. You got 24 candidates now. Give us a progress report on what you've done for your community. I think this is time to stop complaining.
Yes.
Start going to work yourself. I told you on the fourth year, the PLP is going to come strong on you. They are now becoming stronger. You got to stop complaining, F&M. You got to go to work.
What about the back-to-school programs?
Well, I wasn't impressed with many of them.
Let's talk about it after the break.
Well, we can.
When we come back, we're going to just dip into that because every member of parliament made a huge deal about these back-to-school programs to prove a point, of course, to do what they normally do each year, but also to prove a point. Who proved it and who fizzled? Beyond the Headlines is back right after this.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
work hard to provide for and protect the ones you love. However, life can present unexpected challenges. Who you call in times of need matters. Insurance Management is a Bahamian-owned company that has been serving our community for over 40 years, offering a wide range of coverage for all of your personal, professional, and commercial needs. When life happens, rest easy knowing that our skilled and experienced agents are there for you in your time of need, so that you can get back to what matters most. Insurance Management. Nobody does it better.
Crack the code and win $1 million. Crack the code and win $1 million.
7 numbers, $1 million. Every 3 days, a number is revealed. Act fast. Your million is waiting.
Crack that code, win $1 million clear.
Crack the code before the last lock clicks shut. Get ready to join the winner's circle only at islandluck.com.
Crack the code and win $1 million.
This year marks a milestone. The OWN Foundation is celebrating 10 years of impact, innovation, and inspiration. Join us for OWN Talks, September 12th at the Atlantis Resort, Paradise Island at 7 p.m. for a transformative experience under the theme, Activate. Taking the stage are world-renowned leaders and visionaries. Sebastian Bastian, visionary entrepreneur, philanthropist, and CEO of Island Luck and Weiss Technology Group. Barbara Corcoran, legendary real estate mogul, entrepreneur, investor, and star of Shark Tank. Vusi Tembekwayo, global business strategist, venture capitalist, and one of Africa's most influential thought leaders. Be part of this unforgettable evening as the OWN Foundation celebrates a decade of purpose and progress. And together, we activate the future.
Beyond the Headlines is now introducing powerful TV advertising opportunities made just for you. Choose our television ad package, 20 30-second ads for $2,000 or 20 60-second ads for $2,500 plus VAT. Prefer flexibility? Go a la carte. Just $150 for a 30-second ad or $200 for a 60-second ad. Step into the spotlight with our interview package. 1 15-minute interview for $500 or 4 for $15 per month. Or bring Beyond the Headlines directly to you with our live on location package, only $2,600 plus VAT. For more information, contact our sales agent at 242-466-6173.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's great to have you tuned in this evening. Just before the break, we talked about and mentioned really the back to school, some of them call it fairs, some of them call it back to school events. The candidates in this season in particular, this year, did a number of things through those events. They were feeling out their constituencies. They were feeling out the response for those who were trying to court constituencies. And so, Garth, as you jumped in and said, who actually had a home run in those many back-to-school events, and who fluttered in the wind?
I saw many of fluttering, I'll say why, Shanique, but it baffled me how the Free National Movement selected candidates the week before back to school. Literally, school was opening that Monday.
Yeah.
You're going to tell me you're going to select candidates on the Thursday. When you select them on the Thursday, Shanique Miller, you already dropped the ball because that Saturday is back to school Saturday.
Yep.
So those people you just selected, that's 7. Is it 7 that you just selected? Yeah, 7. What did they do on Saturday? So now you started off with a failure because you were not there for the constituency that you just said, you know what, I'm going to be the candidate for. You had no time to prepare for that. They actually threw you in the wind. If I was to select a candidate...
But it's the back-to-school events the annual back to school events, are they that important?
They're extremely important because now you can never say to me in this upcoming election that you care so much about the young people and the future of this nation and you didn't provide anything for back to school. You are the candidate on that Thursday. So show me your love on Saturday. I know it's a short time, but don't blame me. You got to blame your party. Your party should have selected you after back to school. At least you could have said, you know what? I wasn't selected as yet. But the minute you were selected on the Thursday, you're responsible for back to school on Saturday. And guess what Garth is going to tell you? You weren't prepared for that. And if you weren't prepared for that, are you really truly prepared to be a member of parliament? Because life isn't all about time to prepare. Life is about what you do at the last second when you have to, when you're under pressure. Exactly. And so far, we've not seen a party that's prepared for any pressure whatsoever. I don't like it, but maybe, you know what? I need to stay out of your business because you know what you're possibly doing. Maybe you just simply want to lose.
I couldn't agree with you more. Well, you know, there were many great back-to-school events that took place last week. The one I remember most vividly, my good buddy there in Stapleton Gardens, Mikhail Bonnaby.
There was a number of them.
Did a wonderful, wonderful job. And my other good friend, the honourable member for Elizabeth, as always, came through in flying colours for her constituents. And
there were several others. Yeah, there were several others.
Pia Glover, you know, Glennis Hannah Martin had a good one.
What about the opposition?
Joe Bett Colby had a really wonderful one.
What about the opposition?
Yeah, you mentioned her.
Glennis Hannah Martin. I haven't seen anything.
What you mean?
From the opposition.
Oh, okay.
Maybe Grand Bahama. Maybe in Grand Bahama.
Grand Bahama wasn't aware of it. I think I saw the leader look like he had something. He was giving out.
And how did that look? I'm not the host, but I got to ask because I'm curious.
And I don't know how it looked because I can't pay much attention to me, but he's hitting the hell out of me for nothing, you know?
Listen, no, Leslie, that happened before then. Before you put your foot in your mouth.
Shanique, it's just that for me, the back to school this year, I've seen some things on some of those that just blew my mind, like rock climbing and water slides. I passed one actually in the Eastern District, and I saw the carnival was here for Christmas. Yeah. And so I said, you know, when you ask the question, is back to school a big deal? Absolutely. When you talk about the cost of living and how Bahamian people have to now struggle to survive, when they can get those gifts from the member of parliament or the aspiring, listen, man, that is so much of a help.
Yeah, that was different.
And I just want to congratulate those who continue to keep the children out front. And for those of you who are aspiring or those who were just named as candidate, I'll say this to you now. If you drop the ball for back to school, for heaven's sake, let me give you 2 words. Turkey and ham. You better find it.
Bahamians aren't interested in that anymore.
Oh, they're not interested. When you didn't give us that for back to school, you better bring the turkey and the ham.
Bahamians are not falling for that ham and turkey bit anymore.
They don't have to fall, but we need it.
But listen, I want to get to this. I asked about Grand Bahama in terms of their back to school, but I'll tell you this, it's more serious and getting serious now. 6 years after Hurricane Dorian tore through Grand Bahama, the people of Grand Bahama are still waiting for investment, waiting for infrastructure, waiting for promises from the government, promises, Port Authority promises, investor promises, to finally move from paper to reality. Mm-hmm. And so tonight, I ask on behalf of Warren Albury, the owner of Lux Deli in the Port Lucaya Marketplace, for example, who had to shut his restaurant down at 3 o'clock today because there's no business in that area. How much longer must Grand Bahamians wait? Let's start with the Grand Bahama International Airport.
Yes.
This is not a luxury. We talk about Bahamas and all the rest of that. This is the lifeline, the Grand Bahama International Airport of Grand Bahama. We've seen the glossy renderings, we've seen the press conferences and big announcements, but where is the airport? Where is the progress? How can Freeport pretend to be a hub of tourism and commerce when travelers can't even arrive with the ease and dignity expected in a 21st century? And then what if the Grand Bahama Port Authority, for decades, the Grand Bahama Port Authority has held the keys to the city's growth. Yet the ongoing disputes between the Hayward and the St. George families have turned Freeport's future into a tug of war. Freeport is not a family heirloom. It's a home to tens of thousands of Bahamians who deserve leadership and not leadership in limbo. Who exactly is steering the ship? Let's not forget the Xanadu Hotel, once a jewel of the international glamour. Today, that's a hollow shell. We hear it's been sold to Royal Caribbean, yet whispers of delays raise doubts for Grand Bahamians who are already nervous that so many projects are not moving forward, including that Xanadu. So is this deal real, or is it already stalling before it begins? And now comes to Freeport Harbor. Let's get to that.
Yes.
Who is responsible for the hold up there? Is it MSC Cruises? Is it Royal Caribbean? Is it Port Authority? Is it Carnival? No shovels have been in the ground. Nothing at all has happened. Just talk. Just talk. There's been dragging on, and this has been dragging on far too long, and potential does not put food or money in pockets or on tables. Grand Bahamians are asking, will this deal deliver real jobs, real contracts for Bahamian businesses, or will it be another glossy press release that leads nowhere? I'm told there's been serious foot dragging and that this delay ripples out, holding back the airport, the Grand Lucayan, the Xanadu, and every other project tied to Freeport's future. The truth is this: the people of Grand Bahama have borne more hardship than any other island in this archipelago over the past 6 years. Their resilience is unmatched, but resilience is not permission for endless neglect. Every day without progress deepens the wounds. And so tonight, let's ask the questions directly, Leslie and Garth. When will the airport be rebuilt? When will the Port Authority end its stagnancy and put the island first? And that's the question right there. The Port Authority, through the Grand Bahama Development Company, appeared on this show a number of times with, they have amazing projects in the pipeline. Where's this pipeline? And where are these projects? When will the Xanadu and the Lucayan see real redevelopment? And when will the MSC port deal move from paper to paychecks? Grand Bahama cannot wait another year. They cannot. The people deserve better. The time for polite patience is over. It is past time for accountability, for urgency, and for action. Because the people of Grand Bahama, Leslie and Garth, deserve more.
Yes.
And they need that now. And so, gentlemen, you heard me, I spent time with that because for weeks people have been reaching out and talking and saying this and saying, listen, while the Carnival Celebration Key is amazing and it's a wonderful assistance for Grand Bahama and it has its place, but it's touching maybe a quarter of the island in terms of that reverberation and that mushrooming in the economy that takes place when there's good, healthy, robust activity happening. And so the people have legitimate questions tonight and they deserve honest answers.
Yeah, this is very painful tonight. You know that I have not been a fan of the last election upon winning, where so many exorbitant trips were taking place around the world, people going to Bermuda, going to Dubai, going to Africa, and all over the world. For me, it seemed like the first 3 years, a lot of time was a wasting. And while it was a wasting, these very same people in Grand Bahama, Shanique Miller, you paid very careful attention to. We've never taken our eyes off of Grand Bahama. And at one point, we became extremely excited to even hear. I remember one evening, even after the show, you said, Garth, man, I can't believe this is actually happening for Grand Bahama. You were ecstatic. You're like, maybe we need to just go ahead and pay to go on a flight and go over there ourselves to see it for ourselves. So with this great anticipation, it was just simply hair-raising. And we watched all the excitement. The people from Grand Bahama were calling you at night. And he said, God, these people are calling me. They were calling me up until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. It's really happening. We heard from one Mr. McKinsey from Grand Bahama. He spoke to the owners. And this thing is about to happen. The airport and the harbor and everything is about to take off. And then it just went silent.
And then it just stopped.
It went silent. And so for you to bring this to the forefront now, Shanique Miller, I think your question is very, very important. I do hope that the government is listening. I hope the royal opposition is listening. I hope anyone interested in politics is listening. And I think what you're really saying in a nutshell is that while we are waiting the answer, which I think is somewhat yet a mystery, I think the people of Grand Bahama do deserve better. And Shanique Miller, I thank you for bringing this to our attention, because even I myself became a bit comfortable after the summer saying, you know what, I even almost forgot the state of the people in Grand Bahama. So I do apologize to them tonight. But Shanique Miller, you're the heroine tonight. Thank you so much for reminding us.
Absolutely, Garth. Because Leslie, the Grand Bahama shipyard and that port deal, it's just so much that's happening, but everything seemed to just be stagnant right now.
Grand Bahama has caught so much hell over the last 20 years. we used to work very closely with the former chairman of the Grand Bahama Port Authority. On his passing, God bless him, has brought the Port Authority to its knees. The government has a major responsibility in line with the Grand Bahama Port Authority to get Freeport back, to put the magic back in our magic city. Bahamians all over the country have been so proud of our brothers and sisters in Freeport. And over the last 60 years, the job that they did in creating this second city called Freeport. And they had top jobs in all the conglomerates that develop in Freeport. When you look at the pharmaceutical industry in Grand Bahama, was second to none. The only competition that they had was Puerto Rico. You know, and I'm talking about multi-billion-dollar conglomerates that went to Freeport. Now,
Grand Bahama was the
key to it now, MSC is a world-renowned conglomerate, a multi-billion-dollar entity that pretty much ruled the waves around the world. They must now step to the plate, along with the Port Authority, get it right, get the port open, expand the harbor, and the government responsibility is to start construction on the airport. How do you expect people to come to Grand Bahama if you have no airport? It's not fair to the people of Grand Bahama.
Leslie, where do you suppose the stalling or the hold up or the dragging of feet, where is that exactly? Where can you actually
Honorable
point
Prime
to?
Minister had indicated, you remember, some time back, that they were being financed by Saudi Arabia. I think his last comment is that the loan was taken some time, but he had it under wraps. And we expect soon, any minute, that he would be delivering an additional view as to where this is going to take place. But in the meantime, our brothers and sisters are hiding, man. I mean, Freeport is a wonderful place.
You heard me call the man's name. He had to shut his restaurant today.
And Freeport is a city that was built for industry as well as tourism. There's so much potential in Freeport. They have all the infrastructure that is needed. The closest island to the eastern seaboard of the United States was Grand Bahama. It's still there. I just think the parties have to now work together, close-knit. They are now, I understand, this week going into arbitration with the group out of London, with all the high-powered lawyers. And hopefully, at the end of the day...
This is the Grand Bahama Port Authority.
And the government.
Absolutely. And this is to do with the $300+ million outstanding VAT.
$million.
Outstanding VAT that's owed.
That project could be complete, that argument or whatever it is.
So you know what it is? It's playing hardball, because of course they have said they don't owe that money. And so therefore they're not in the mood of approving anything until they figure they could get that wiped or substantially lessened. But meanwhile though, Grand Bahama Port Authority, whomever else it is that we must point fingers at, nothing is happening in Grand Bahama.
Well, I really think that we should thank the Right Honourable Prime Minister, Mr. Davis, for the job that he's been doing in, first of all, confronting the Port Authority and trying to force things to move in Grand Bahama. He lived there for about 15 years, you know. Mr. Davis did. So he pretty much grew up in Freeport in his infancy stage as a lawyer. He was practicing in Grand Bahama, so he's well equipped to know what goes on in Grand Bahama. It's just a pity that the wheels aren't spinning fast enough to enable us to put things in place, the proper things. But again, MSC is going to play a vital role in the redevelopment, the future development of Grand Bahama. MSC, you must step to the plate now.
Yes.
Along with the Grand Bahama Port Authority now and get it done.
Yeah, I understand that the
So
negotiations
that other cruise lines could
on.
come there and dock at the expansion of the new dock that you're proposing to put in. You have the money.
Negotiations are going on with MSC, but somehow something is stalling. Something is a stick in the mud. You guys,
whatever it is, get it out of the way.
Get it together. Get it together.
Get it done.
Here's the political football, Shanique Miller and Leslie Miller. You now know that there is a stall. You know that you're waiting for funding or whatever the case may be. That is simply indicating to me that no one is going to call the election day anytime soon until that ship comes in.
Yeah.
And the people of Grand Bahama has already sent words of threat. I was there when they were speaking to Shanique Miller, and they said, if you don't get this sorted, you think we playing with you all this time, you're going to tickle us and then laugh.
You get wiped out again.
You're going to get wiped out in Grand Bahama. So, you know, Shanique Miller, I implore you to stay on top of this particular story.
I will stay on top
And once again, I appreciate you for this, because you know what? Even though they may not say it, the Bahamian people need to appreciate the fact that you want to be on the headlines, you care for the Bahamian people.
And the future of Grand Bahamas is at stake.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I was the loudest cheerleader there saying, I'm happy to hear of these various announcements and what's in the pipeline and what's going on. But people tired of seeing the glossy images, the promises and the words. Start now. Come on, something tangible. Something, MSC, come on, something tangible. Get this done.
Press releases.
Okay? Something tangible. We all waiting to celebrate that with you. Absolutely. But Leslie, I'll tell you this, you will have your time to speak and say whatever you want to say after this break, because you, Leslie Miller, you are in the hot seat.
What the hell are you coming out of me for? What I did?
You are in the hot seat, Leslie Miller.
What?
We're going to take a break and come back with more of the On the Headlines right after this.
My late husband, Tyrone Albury, had a passion for brewing beer at home. We found one of his recipes and we started on the stovetop with 1 gallon of beer. It was a hobby that turned into a passion project that turned completely out of control. We had to make a decision whether or not we were going to continue home brewing or open a brewery. So craft beer is basically brewing a very small batch of beer. Every individual batch of beer is going to be slightly different.
We're always trying to figure out what the next best beer is going to be.
Just the sheer amount of love and effort that goes into every brew. It's a science, really, to selecting the right grains and the hops, and then expanding on some of the normals.
Really, in the last couple of years, we've had a lot more of the locals that have found our location.
They realize that there is a fuller flavor beer out there, and we take pride in that. When we first started the concept of the brewery and we were looking for funding, it was the SBDC that we leaned on to help me push through at times when I wanted to give up, to tell me when I was making mistakes, and for that, I am grateful. So I would encourage all entrepreneurs, if you're looking for funding, mentorship, and encouragement to launch your new business idea, I would encourage you to contact the SBDC.
Are you ready to take the next step in growing your business? Check your eligibility for our guaranteed loan program at sbdcbahamas.com/GLP or call 461-7232 to learn more about how the SBDC can support your business.
So you want a space, but not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Beyond the Headlines is now introducing powerful TV advertising opportunities made just for you. Choose our television ad package, 20 30-second ads for $2,000 or 20 60-second ads for $2,500 plus VAT. Prefer flexibility? Go a la carte. Just $150 for a 30-second ad or $200 for a 60-second ad. Step into the spotlight with our interview package. one 15-minute interview for $500, or 4 for $15 per month. Or bring Beyond the Headlines directly to you with our live on location package, only $2,600 plus VAT. For more information, contact our sales agent at 242-466-6173.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. And by the way, of course, you saw that ad just now. We are also in the campaign season, so we have campaign rates for you as well. Reach out to that very number that you saw on the screen, our sales and marketing department, and they will get you sorted out wherever you are. Beyond the Headlines will come. Let's have a wonderful show, discussion. Let's hear your party's platform, what your candidates plan on doing, what it is you plan on doing for this nation, and the various constituencies that you want to be member of parliament of. How about that? By the way, this just coming into the news. This just coming into the newsroom. There's been a fire at Comfort Suites, Paradise Island. The good news is it is not the blaze has been extinguished. It is believed that it's been an electrical fire because it originated in the electrical room in the basement level. Again, it's been successfully extinguished, and the great news is there are no reports of injuries happening there. And so we are very, very happy for that. An assessment of the damage is currently underway. And so once again, a fire at the Comfort Suites, but again, no significant damage, but everything is being assessed. Meanwhile, though, former PLP Cabinet Minister and Beyond the Headlines contributor Leslie Miller in the hot seat again tonight. This despite issuing an apology for referring to Senator Michaela Barnett Ellis as a little girl. This statement caused FNM Kalani candidate Senator Michaela Barnett Ellis to trend this weekend, and she took advantage of Miller's comments too, with several videos of her throughout the constituency this weekend released, one after the next. Miller's comments also fired up the FNM. FNM leader Michael Pintard joining in from Barnett Ellis, who had her own response, calling Miller's comments alarming, especially given his track record.
He's often irresponsible in a number of comments that he makes, and this is yet another, another statement that is most irresponsible and is disrespectful to women in general. He has a daughter that's doing a commendable job in the Parliament of the Bahamas, and again, it's disrespectful to all women who serve or seek to serve. You would have remembered some unfortunate remarks he made when he was a member of Parliament, again, relative to women, that was most distasteful then. And he has been a fierce defender of others who have been accused of similar action. So I don't have a great deal of expectation that he would speak in a responsible manner, and I trust that others would not follow his example.
Well, there you have it. FNM leader Michael Pintard says Leslie Miller is irresponsible. Speaks irresponsibly, has a track record of doing so. Garth, the FNM jumped all over this. Senator Michael Barnett Ellis, the FNM's candidate in Kalani, jumped all over it this weekend. Your thoughts on how they took, and I'm not defending Miller, he's here to defend himself, and he already apologized. I don't need you to apologize again, Leslie. I know you want to respond. What I'm saying, you apologize for calling her a little girl in the context of it all. We understand in the Bahamian terms what he meant. Was he right? Well, they say he's misogynist and a misogynistic person and known to be that. Garth, your thoughts?
In me, I'm always trying to be as fair as possible. I always say to people that when you have a complaint, you have to check your own house first. Check your house if it's made of glass. You just cannot throw stones. We have heard comments coming from the Free National Movement against women as well. And so for you to speak this strongly against one particular...
hold on.
Well, I can talk about the voices from a Kalma guy who's an executive in their party. I can talk about another voice in the party who's from public relations.
The Kalma guy, I think he spoke about Bahamian women.
Yes.
That's when he was very angry, something along those lines.
Yeah, and then there's another radio personality who also spoke against our good friend Erica in a voice that circulated all throughout the country. If you want to be this petty and you go down this deep in pettiness, I just ask one question. What does that have to do with politics and governance? What does that have to do with your constituency? To me, it's a personal matter. I think it's very petty. If you got some public applause for you bringing this to the forefront, yippee. Ask me the question, though, and I want you to ask yourself the question. Just one question is very important to me beyond all of this. Miss Barnett, those of you who support Miss Barnett, the party that supports Miss Barnett, I want you to put your house mortgage on the line and tell me that you will guarantee that she's going to win the Kalani seat. And I will gamble with you tonight. I promise you that. This has nothing to do with politics. It has nothing to do with the Bahamian people. You're trying to lean on the whole idea that, you know what? Oh, you're offending women. There's a whole lot of things you people do to offend a whole lot of people. You all just got a show host fired the other day. You think you really care?
Now, how you know that? Now, Garth, wait. Garth, how you know the F&M got Howard Grant fired?
I didn't say Howard Grant. I didn't say
but I
just
said it.
a personality.
But how do you know they did?
But I got my call. I got my call.
Oh,
whether it's true or not, I got my call. If the person feels that was the case, that's the case. I'm not getting in people's personal business. What I'm saying is that the Beyond the Headlines is interested in the nation and the nation's building. This is what we do when we sit here. Leslie Miller sits on this show to help build the nation. Whether you agree with his opinion or not, this is the reason why he's here. When it comes to a personal situation, you want to bring it to the forefront to discredit everything that he's saying. So let's look at your track record. Could we really believe Michael Pintard, the leader of the F&M, and say, you know what? I just love Michael Pintard. He's an upright man. He has done nothing wrong. You know about the case that you was involved in. You know about the accusations. You know these things. When we look at all of you, your deputy was involved in the situation. We're still waiting to hear about that. We heard about one Lanisha Roll. I told y'all on Beyond the Headlines that we'll never hear about that case again. How many years was that ago? You people got to clean your own house first. Do not bring petty personal things into a conversation when it has to do with the national situation. I'm not appreciative of this. I think it's petty. Stop throwing these silly stones. Go and get a back-to-school program first or give us some ham and turkey. That's what I want you to do.
You know, I've already apologized to the young lady, so I'm not going to do it again. She's gotten a lot of publicity from what she claimed I made disparaging remarks about her. And I take the gravest exception to the leader of the opposition trying to smear my good name. I've been elected to Parliament 3 times, 15 years of my life. And I've given most of my life to the people of the Bahamas, and I'm proud of my record that I know can hold Marches 7 days a week, every day of the week for the rest of his life. You know, it amazes me because they always look for straws to grab onto. Here was this man when he was in Parliament just a few months ago, degraded Glenys Hanna Martin in a most personal and vicious manner. Then he went after the Speaker, Patricia, nice lady. Call her hot dog lady. Call her hot dog lady. She's a nothing, nobody. Then he went after the Minister of Transport, Jobette Colby, and he run her in the ground. Then he went after the Honorable Minister Ginger Moxie in Grand Bahama. He run her in the ground. Not one single woman in the Free National Movement, not a single one, said one single thing. Leslie Miller has been there for 15 years. People know about my record. My record speaks for itself. I'd have to apologize for nothing I did in my public life. Nothing at all. I have never been involved in no murder for hire in my life.
Leslie,
I've never been associated with people of that magnitude in my life. I've never been asked to resign from any position in my life, including resigning from the Senate. I've never. And I take grave exception to him saying that that's what he's about. I'll put my record against yours, publicly and privately, any day of the week, man. Any day of the week. Both of us from the same island, okay? And have some family ties. But I don't want you to try to degrade what I am. As Minister of Trade and Industry, I bought in, my people and I, the Consumer Protection Bill. We bought in the Rent Control Bill. We bought in the Standards Bureau. When I was Minister of Agriculture, where you was one time, I cut the lobster intake by pleasure craft by 50% to protect all of the fishermen in this country. They can tell you about it. We had a study done by the United Nations that said that they took in more lobster and fish out of our waters than all the commercial fisheries combined. I cut it in half. And I was only there for about 16 months. What did you do when you were there? Nothing. Nothing. Okay? I provided assistance to all the poultry producers. Call Abaco, call any one of them in this country. I didn't allow any imports to come in from the United States as long as there were poultry in their freezers. Ask Rupert Roberts. They had to call me every week. Mr. Miller, what them fellas got left? I said, when they are empty, then I'll give you the permission to import. And they always thank me for that. My whole life has been with supporting Bahamian people. That's why we formed the Bahamas Light Industry Development Council in 1983 to sensitize Bahamians, to buy Bahamian, to grow the industry, to diversify our economy, to get young men and women to go into business. You all make everything so petty and slimy for no reason.
But Leslie,
for cheap political points.
Leslie, I'm not defending
That's correct.
the leader or you. I'm just saying this is the season
Yes.
where you take the thing that is the size of a mustard seed and try and make that
for no reason
huge.
Yeah.
But so Leslie, the thing is, I think all of us must be very mindful of what it is that we. Yes, you did.
As Minister of Trade and Industry, I tried to give the Bahamian people
Leslie, call this
LNG,
record, Joe. Go talk about your
Petro
record.
Carib. You all were against it.
Leslie Miller.
And now today we are suffering from it. I did my job as far as I'm concerned.
So Leslie, so what are you saying is, listen, let's
PLPO F&M.
No, you're saying let's take it from being petty, and let's take it from there and compare the records of you and him, or anybody else.
Anybody else.
After all, he did say you are known to be irresponsible in your utterings.
Tell me when.
You are in your utterances.
But tell me my track record. You compare yours with mine. Anyone in this country.
Where is that?
On my serving the Bahamian people as a member, their member of parliament for Blue Hills, as well as Tall Pines, PLPO F&M. Ask any one of them what my tenure was in serving them, the pleasure I had, and the gratitude I showed them, and them putting their faith in me and putting me in parliament. And I always speak for and on behalf of all Bahamians everywhere. I put my record against any former member of parliament, especially you. Because you really, I'm surprised. But anyway, nothing surprised me. You just acted to begin with.
Once again, I'm not going to justify, the language, but I do feel that it is petty season. And Shanique Miller, I'll tell you something. All my life, or at least most of my life, the older people have been calling me little boy or boy. This is what they do.
This is a part of Bahamianism.
It's an unspoken culture, right?
Yes.
Now, I'll tell you when I really got offended. I was walking by Porky's gas station, and a young man said, "Hey, old man." I said, "Now, hold minute." I said, "Who you calling old man?" But I know I got a little bit of gray hair and everything, but I think we're more offended that you calling me an old man because I always want to feel young.
When they call me young boy.
I think this is a situation, Mr. Leslie Miller, where I would only pray that we can get past this and get back to the people's business. That's what this is really all about. You know there's an enormous amount of pressure in Kalani.
Stop the sideshow.
Stop the distractions. Yeah. Go back to work. Go find a headquarters. You need a headquarters, I heard. Go find your headquarters. We are watching you. And guess what? Beyond the headlines is watching you. We just can't simply wait.
Oh, absolutely. Meanwhile, pressure tall. Meanwhile, what do you think Dr. Minnis is doing tonight?
Oh, he likes his drama with his friend, Leslie Miller, and what's going on. I'm almost sure he's chuckling. But I understand that he is campaigning, and like I said, she needs to get on the ground and get campaigning because this election in Kalani, the whole entire nation and the international community, they have their eyes on Kalani. This is where we're going to watch this fight, and the next big place I think is going to be Long Island. This is going to be a great election, folks. Just stay tuned.
Well, I tell you.
On Grand Bahama.
Well, if they don't produce,
Right, you're absolutely right. Gentlemen, I thank you both. Leslie Miller, you had your say. It's done. We don't have to go there again. I thought, the fact that it's dragged on to today, let you respond to this evening.
And
Garth Rosborough, I thank you as well for being here this evening.
Thank you.
Both of you gentlemen, thank you. Of course, and we will continue to stay on that matter in Grand Bahama because we want to see Grand Bahama be as prosperous and happening as Hillsborough, as any other place in the Bahamas. And so we can hold you all accountable for what it is you all say you all want to do. That's right, in Grand Bahama. So let's get it done. I want to say a big thank you to all of you for tuning in this evening. Certainly enjoyed having you along, and I look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.